Good morning, folks. Being
honest, we
honest,
all would have received some messages like, hey, you are a winner of a lucky draw, as shown here. So, what we call such a message or a ping is spam. No one in this world is giving free money except willing to take otherwise. So, seeing the stats here, like approximately 40% of all emails are spam, and estimated 145 billion spams are sent and received daily, and it cost a huge lot of money on the business side. So me, Ragib and Nazish has come up with our new messaging app, SecChat, extended for Secure Chat. Imagine getting paid each time you receive a spam, or creating such an environment for the spammers that they can't survive on the app. All possible with our app based on the Push Chat SDK for messaging, with contracts built and deployed on the FEVM testnet, Polygon testnet, Mantle testnet, with chainlink automation also included. So here is the protocol flow. The left side you see here is a spammer with two things. First, SP count, it is the number of users who has marked the spammer messages as spam. And second, the stake amount is the amount the spammer needs to put into the DApp to become eligible to send messages to the new user. So let's see from spammer scenario how it happens. So spammer takes 0.1 T, it gets logged at the contract, and he gets access to send the messages to the receiver. Now he writes the message to the receiver, which goes as a request to the receiver. Receiver has two options, either to choose as a spam or to approve it. Let's suppose he declares it as a spam. You can see the amount staked goes from the contract to the receiver. For a spam, the receiver gets rewarded. Now, to penalize the spammer, the SP count increments and the staked amount gets multiplied with SP count, so it also increases to zero point 0.2. So now next time the spammer wants to request a message, he needs to stake 0.2 T, and it keeps on increasing as he keeps on spamming more and more. Now come to a genuine sender perspective. If a sender is a genuine, the message, then the same process, he also stakes the amount and receiver gets the request. But instead, by choosing the spam, receiver knows the person, he approves the request, and the money goes back to the sender without any increase in the stake amount or SP count.
so here is the demo of the SecChat, and here you can see that we are on the Mantle Testnet, and we have three options on this app: the chats, request, and the spam. So now we log in as the user. So we have logged in as a sender, and now let's start by sending a message to a new user. So there are no users, so we add the user, search it, and then press on the plus button. The plus button then asks the user to stake the zero point 0.1 bit, and now you can see here that 0.1 bit got staked. From 1 bit it became 0.9 bit, and in the chat the conversation tab has created. Now with to this receiver we can send the message. So I'm typing hi from account 9 account 12 to account 7. Okay, account 11, sorry. So we send it, and now we can see that the message has gone. Now log out, and now change it to the receiver. So receiver should have received that message, hi from account 12 to account 11. So we'll switch on to that, and now we'll press the login button as a receiver, and we'll decrypt this public encryption key, and here you can see that it will come in a request. So in the request we got one message here. Yeah, see that hi from account 12 to account 11. Now assume that it is a spam, so we'll mark it as a spam, and then we'll deduct this much amount. So it will confirm. So what it will do is that zero point 0.1 bit which the sender has staked has now moved from the contract to the receiver, to me, as I'm getting rewarded for being spammed, and the receiver is and the sender is being penalized. So now here in the spam section we can see that it is a block message. No, we cannot type or respond anything, and neither the sender can give me any information. And here you see from 1 bit 1.1 bit my amount increased. Now I'll unspam it. Let's suppose that it might be happening that I mistakenly did this. So I'll transfer the 0.1 bit stake which I got back to the sender. Unspamming it, you see the message went away, and then we'll go into the chat section, and here we can see that it has moved to the chat section, and here we can write any kind of message. And since the conversation has established, so the flow was that we spammed it, unspammed it, and then again we can do the conversation. So the 0.1 bit moved from spammer to me as a receiver. Okay, log out. Okay, so since now we have demonstrated the spammer position, now we'll explain the normal position in which the sender and receiver both know each other. So in this case we have logged in as a sender, and now we'll put the address of the receiver which I know, and we'll press the plus button, and we'll need to stake 0.1 bit. Remember that for each case, whenever it is the first time we are communicating with a new user, we need to stake the amount. So the sender stake the amount, and see, he got a chat request, he got a chat section where he can write all the messages what he want. So he is giving a hi from his account, which is account 13, to account 11, which is the receiver's account. Okay, so here you can see that the message has gone very clearly. Now what we can do is that we can switch to the receiver and see whether he has received this request. Since it was the first message, so he would have received it as a request, not in the chat it will be present. So we'll switch to the account 11, which is the receiver, and you remember that it is 1 bit for him. So he'll decrypt the message, and here you see whatever you see in the chats are the previous messages and previous ongoing chats. And here is the request which he got right now at 10:14. You can see from account 13 to account 11. Now since he knows that it is a request from the friend, he approves it. In approving, what happens that the 0.1 token which it was in the contract goes back to the sender, because he's not going to be penalized for any of the case. And here the message moved from the request to the chat section, and now we can easily communicate with the sender. So there is a conversation established, and now he can communicate with this time. Note, whenever a receiver mark it as a spam, there is also a spam counter which increments, and this causes the spammer to get penalized and the stake amount to increase for further transactions. And now here we can see all the transaction happening on the Mantle testnet. You can clearly see how 0.1 bit token transferred from the sender to the contract, and then it went back from the contract to the sender. Extras. So there are two conditions or the corner cases which we can say. The first one is for conditions like the sender staking the amount and the receiver not responding on the request as spam or approving it, or not taking any action. Then to prevent the stake amount being logged indefinitely, what we have done is that we have implemented the chainlink automation which refunds all the staked amount logged in the contract every 24 hours. There could be other corner case of receiver being a spammer. It keeps on declaring all the message requests which it is receiving as a spam and earning the staked amount. So to tackle it, we have added a counter which counts the number of spam a user has declared others, and if this count is greater than 10, then we prompt the sender that the receiver to whom he is trying to send the request has a bad history of declaring others as spam, and it may cause him losing the staked amount. So be cautious to proceed, and after this it is the sender's obligation to decide and act wisely. And other scopes, you can pause and read the video getting longer, so we are stopping it